Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda Ray, and we have a special guest here today.
We're related.
Can you tell? This is my little sister Rachel. You may have seen her on Escaping Polygamy. She escaped on the show, and you guys have been requesting this interview for a long time. Yeah, because it's been a long time coming, and you've been out for 10 years now?
Has it been 10 years?
I've been out 11, so I think you're 10.
Yeah, because it was when I was 18.
Yeah. And you guys
yeah,
watched
that's 10
that.
years. 28 now.
So what makes you feel like you are like ready to share your story now?
I feel like I've been wanting to share my story for a long time. Like ever since I left, I wanted to tell everybody what happened because it's like you don't want it to happen to other people. You know, you want people to know the truth. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people on the inside think, oh, like they're just ratting us out or they think that we're the bad guys. And so I feel like a lot of that was weighing on me.
Oh, yeah.
And even like our parents were saying things about you.
Yeah.
And I
true.
was like,
because I left and you got to hear the backlash of what they said about me, right?
Right, yeah. Well, and even when we were both out, they would talk about you and your channel and saying all the things that you're doing wrong. And I didn't think it really affected me that much. But looking back, that's a big reason why I was scared to share my story. Because of all of the backlash from like our parents or people in the church are going to say. But honestly, they're just trying to shut you up. Like literally, all I'm doing is telling what happened to me.
Right.
All I'm doing is my truth. And I was letting dad, mom, like the order people saying all these things like, oh, you're trying to hurt us. Like, no, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to share my truth. Like,
right.
I don't need your permission to talk about what happened to me.
Exactly.
And to tell you the truth, you know? So anyways, I think that the biggest part was really mom and dad.
Yeah. And it's crazy how much of a chokehold they had on us. And even me, like, it probably doesn't seem like it because I did my YouTube and I did Escaping Polygamy. I was like, F all y'all. But it really affected me to hear that I was like this demon now. But I think it was easier for me because mom said those things to me in the order. So it was like, oh, this is old news. Like, I've always been the problem child. So, of course, you're going to be mad at me for doing this too.
And I think that's the reason it was so hard for me because I was always the sweet, sweet, sweet Rachel, you know,
My
like
sweet Rachel.
Literally not really the perfect child, I guess. I was just the quiet one. So I was, I guess, forgotten about.
Really?
Like a lot of the times it was just, I just was so quiet that I wouldn't ruffle any feathers, you know. I felt like I had to kind of hide in the background. And I actually had a few people think that I was like rude because of it.
Really?
Because I just wouldn't respond sometimes because I was so nervous. Or like a few of my friends in the church used to think I hated them before I even knew them. I'm like, well, why would I hate you? I don't even know you. And they're like, well, you just wouldn't talk to us. And I have RBF apparently. So anyways, I was just a quiet one.
Yeah, you were kind of shy in the order too. But you were the sweet, sweet Rachel. You just did what you were told. And so I think it was a big shock that when you left and maybe that was a big fear for you was like, oh no, I'm going to get a lot of backlash.
Yeah, well, I saw the backlash that you were getting, and I think just a piece of me was like, didn't want that same backlash, but honestly, it's just you saying the truth.
Right.
Like, that's literally all it is.
It's not fair of them to try to play the victim when it's your story. Like, oh, poor us, don't tell our secrets, don't air. Mom would always say, don't air my dirty laundry, don't air dirty laundry. Well, maybe if you wash your laundry, there would be nothing to air.
Yeah, if you don't want me to say what you did to me, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah, exactly. If you don't want people to say what you did, then don't do it.
Yeah, and what I started to realize is that I was literally hiding their secrets, like hiding, what is the word, protecting the abuser, yeah.
Right. It's like protecting them, the people who didn't protect you.
Yeah, the ones that literally did it to you, you're hiding it for them, like, so that they can keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what made me decide to finally talk about it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like you were purposefully like, I'm going to protect the abusers. It's that you had this love for them. They're your parents, and they use that against you too. Like, honor your father and your mother. We're told our whole life, like, don't, like, even leave the order, that's terrible, you're not going to go to heaven. But if you leave the order and talk bad about the order, that's even worse. And you're brainwashed to believe that in the group. And they do that to so many victims who leave, pointing the finger like they're bad, they're bad, they're bad. So then you have this really deep-rooted fear from such a young age.
Well, and actually they still do it. Like, when Dad messaged me, should I talk about that right now?
Do you want to?
I really wanted to... Well, I already wanted to talk about my story, and we were kind of talking about on TikTok how Dad tried to get me back.
Go back to the order,
Yeah, he was talking to me about a chance to come back, and that, like, they would accept me back and this and that. And we'll go into that.
Yeah, I'll show the TikTok
later,
that ruffled the feathers here.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to double back. I already despise you.
So we were talking about that on the TikTok, and I really wanted to share that story. And then Dad texted me basically saying, like, not to tell that story. And maybe we can go into more detail on that too when we talk about that.
You don't want to tell it right now?
I just have to pull it up. But basically he texted me saying, please don't share that. Like, don't tell people that I tried to get you back or this and that. And what I realized in the text is that he used like 4 different forms of narcissism. And we even manipulation, yeah. So we even dissected it, and it was like, first off, saying that speaking your truth is wrong, saying that like Manda is humiliating him by speaking your truth, and basically saying that what you're doing is wrong and that I shouldn't be, like, please don't do the same thing that Manda's doing. Right. So trying to separate us basically.
And they did that to us our whole childhood. We just didn't realize it.
So that's a form of manipulation. Like, you're different, you know, like separating.
I feel like we should pull up the text. Do you want to pull
up
the text?
All right, let's just do it, yeah. Because there was a whole, every single piece of the text was literally forms of manipulation. And when I looked it up too, it like dissected every single one.
Because I remember I was jogging and you called me and you were like, why do I feel like... What was it that you were saying? You felt some type of way after receiving this message, but it almost made you want to share your story more.
Well, it just, what I realized is that he sent it and I instantly was like, oh no.
Like, you're in trouble?
I can't talk about this. And then I was like, why am I still letting him control me? Like, a piece of me was like, oh, I shouldn't do this? Like, is this wrong? And then I was like, wait a minute. All I'm doing is saying what happened. Right. So, like, why do I feel this way? And so I actually did some research and looked into it. And every single piece of the text Dad sent was basically manipulation. Okay. Should I read it word for word? See, it's still even hard because I know he's going to be watching
Yeah, he's going to watch this. And here's the thing. I think that for a very long time, he did think he could manipulate you.
Because I let him.
You let him manipulate you?
Like, I didn't share my story. Yeah. I wasn't speaking about my abusers. I wasn't talking about what actually happened to me. And so he did feel like he could still reach out to me and control me.
Yeah, you know? This is reminding me that this is a very triggering thing for me too, because this is going to be a heavy episode actually for me, because when I left, can I share a little bit of my trauma with the whole you were leaving too? So when I was leaving, right before leaving, I had fought like so hard to not have to go to church, and I was like, I'm gonna leave the order, and I've told this story before where Dad was like, I came to him and he knew that I was wanting to leave, and he said that, well, I would rather die than leave the order, and I hope you feel the same. Like, he would talk to me like that. And then one night he came into my room and he was like crying, like teary-eyed, and he was like, I had a dream that you died and you were being cremated. Do you know what that means? And I was like, what? No. And he's like, dying in a dream means his spiritual death. And what he was trying to say is like, I'm doomed. And he was like, and in the dream, and he starts tearing up, and he's like, Rachel was trying to get cremated with you, and I'm not going to let you take Rachel with you. And then he just left. And I thought I had no respect for him at that point, but I got so depressed after he said that. And then I left, and I got out of the burning building, right? And then we stayed in contact. And when you were finally leaving on the show, I got so much like, like his dream is coming true. And he's going to tell everybody that he knew that I was going to bring Rachel to hell with me. And it was hard for me, especially like I knew it wasn't true, but there was a piece of me that was like, this is what everyone's gonna think is happening. And
you know what's funny? Sorry, are you done?
I'm done.
You know what's funny about that though? He thinks that you were the reason I left. It was actually because of him. Like, he was the reason I left. There was like maybe 3 or 4 different like moments in the cult where I was like, something's not right.
And then when I got the shit beat out of me, I was like, something. And then when he tried to make me marry my cousin, I was like, something.
Yeah, so those 3 moments that I could actually pinpoint and be like, this was a big reason I left. This was a big reason I left. Every single one of them was because of him.
Mm-hmm. I remember the biggest one you told me was the Christmas story.
Yeah, should we go into each one?
Yeah.
Or should we go into the text?
There's so much to pull up.
It's going to be a 2-part. But.
Yeah, I think we will have to end this on a cliffhanger for you guys. Sorry. But which one do you want to start with?
Well, I have this pulled up. Okay, so...
This is after the TikTok, right?
Yeah, on the TikTok, we're talking about the time he tried to get me back. Anyway, so we're saying that we're going to talk about it, and he sends me a message saying, wow, why is this so hard? Okay, hi, Rachel. Amanda mentioned that she was going to make fun of me trying to get you to come back. So first of all, saying she's making fun of me is already kind of manipulation, right? By saying like, oh, she's doing wrong. When really all we said was that we were going to say the truth, you know? Mm-hmm. I would really appreciate if you didn't join in with her mocking me. Again, manipulation. Changing the words.
It's making him
sound
the victim.
Bad. Yeah, like to sound like we're doing something bad. When in reality, just speaking our truth again, right? Mm-hmm. I really did try to help my children the best I knew how. Even now, I would be glad to help any of my children any way I could. Another form of manipulation, saying he did all he could when he's not even in our lives.
Right. Mind you, he has never not texted me once since I left. Not once.
Yeah, and I actually looked through my texts from him because I was like, when was the last time he texted me? And it was the last time he wanted something from me. Mm-hmm. So, like, anyways, it's just, he's not trying to be a part of our life. He didn't help us the best way he knew how. Anyways, even if he did try to help us the best way he knew how, why is he not in our lives then?
Yeah, well, how come the best way you knew how was to charge us rent and to beat us and try to make us marry our cousins? Like, that's kind of weird, don't you think?
Yeah, like, literally,
what was helping us in that? To get us to heaven?
Yeah. I would probably still be in the church if I wasn't forced to do specific things. Like, everybody says, oh, well, you're not forced to do stuff. I couldn't even go to school. Like, I was forced to drop out of college at 18 years old. I was an adult, and I still felt like I had to listen to them.
Yeah.
Anyways, then he goes on to say, I'm sorry I wasn't able to do more to help all of you. Which is another form of manipulation, saying, I did all I could. It's off of my hands when we're still alive. Like, we're still here. Is this all you could really do to help us? Anyways, thank you, and remember that I do love and care about all of you. So... it's just like every single section is a form of manipulation.
Yeah. And the part that bugs me too is it is true. Every time he messages you, he wants you to do something for him. He wants something from you. And that's his definition of love, I guess. But it's like, if you did the things, then you have to be okay with people saying the things that you did. Like, that's, at the end of the day, you can't manipulate and control every single person that you've done wrong.
Okay, I gotta share one piece. So, I was going to college at 16 years old, because we did Penn Foster, right? Graduated early. And then I think when I was 18 or 17, he was trying to get me to drop out of college. But I didn't want to because I really wanted to. College was like freedom to me. Knowledge was, I just loved it because I didn't learn a lot in the church. Anyways, I felt like I was growing. And you can't really grow very fast in the church, but college I was growing super fast, so I loved it. And I didn't want to drop out, so I actually hid that I was going to school. I took one class that he said I could take because it was supposed to be helping with the job I was doing, the church job. For the order, yeah. And so I was only taking that one class, but I signed up for 5 for 5 classes. And I actually took that class online, so I didn't even need to go into school for that class, but I was going into school anyways. So I was taking a full schedule, and then it just ended up becoming really hard to, like, I would, every time he would come home every third day, I would see his car come into the parking lot. I would hurry and go hide. I'm not hiding like my phone or anything. I'm literally hiding college books from my dad. So I was studying, literally studying, and then he's coming home. Oh shoot, I gotta hide my books. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Looking back now, I'm like, wow, I cannot believe I wasn't even hiding like
you wasn't
normal
even,
teenage stuff.
Right. It wasn't like you were hiding a phone or drugs or things like that. You were hiding education.
Education, exactly. Yeah, and like most parents would be begging their kids to go to college. I was begging my dad to let me go. Anyway, so then after that, it was really hard to hide it anymore, because he said, okay, you took that class for the church's job. Now you don't need to take any more classes. And so I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I signed up for classes anyways. I finished college, whatever, you know, like, let's get to the end. But I did want to look back on this after I left and everything. I didn't realize, but like, Dad messaged me saying he would text me happy birthday like a few birthdays after I left. And I think it was because they thought I was going to go back, right? But he said, happy birthday. I'm really proud of you for finishing college.
You're like, you're the reason that
I'm really like, what the?
Yeah, that would make me
I
mad.
literally had to fight you, leave the church, and then convince myself I was good enough because you guys told me I wasn't to finish college. And you're saying you're proud of me? Like, I had to go against you. Anyway, so I just thought that was funny. I just read that, like, well, I'm proud of you for doing that, even though I was holding you back.
It was interesting, too, to see that there was a lot of people after your episode aired on Escaping Polygamy, a lot of people thought that they could get you back. I remember our brothers were trying to get you back and being nice to you. And, like, I remember feeling threatened. Like, you guys think that you can manipulate her back. And Mom trying to figure out where you were. Remember that? They're just so weird. Yeah. They thought that they could have a pull on you and try to manipulate you to come back. I don't know. I think it may have been why because of what you just said. You were always the quiet one. You were always the one that was like...
That's true.
I think your coping mechanism and your safety was to fly under the radar. And so they had an idea of you that wasn't actually you.
Right, because I wasn't loud enough to actually have a different, like, show who I was. Actually, funny story, when I started voicing who I was in the church, like, just standing my ground, I remember Mom saying, what happened to my sweet, sweet, sweet Rachel? And I remember... She's dead! I remember being like, she's still here! Like, this is me, you know? Yeah. Before I wasn't me, I was being you, like what you wanted me to be. Now I'm finally voicing my own opinion, and you're, like, upset that I even have a voice, you know? Anyway, so yeah, that was definitely my coping mechanism.
Yeah, and I think that I was a scapegoat for everything, so they just blamed me for anything you were doing bad. Like, oh, it's Amanda, she's hanging around Amanda. And that we were grounded from each other once when we were kids.
Oh, yeah. Because I couldn't go downstairs.
Yeah.
I would sneak downstairs.
So weird the way that they thought that they could just control and manipulate you. But there was also, I kind of wanted to talk about the story of the Christmas story, but did you want to talk about something else?
Oh, yeah, no, so we can go into that. So, like I said, there was like 3 main points that I was like, oh, maybe this isn't the right place to be, or oh, maybe I should leave and get out of this crazy place, right? The first one, this one was huge. So our older half brother who left ended up getting married to
a woman who was not white.
Yeah,
which is naughty in order standards.
Yeah. Anyway,
so he left, married her, because you can't. I think if she was white, Dad would have tried to have him marry her. Yeah. Because I do remember. Sorry to give context to anyone who was not a part of this church. So he was secretly seeing this girl, and I remember him telling this story that Dad was like, oh, so when Dad found out that he was secretly seeing the girl, he was like, oh, that could be a good thing. You met her in school. Oh, was she Mormon? Oh, okay. And then as soon as he saw on the text her last name was a Hispanic last name, and he's like, why would you think that you could date someone like that? And all of a sudden Dad's demeanor changed. And so our brother had to leave to marry her, and then this is why he was so mad about what Rachel's about to tell you.
Okay, yeah. So the interracial marriage is not a thing in the church, right?
Sit.
Go lay down. Go lay down. So it's Christmas. It's Christmas, and this is the last Christmas I was actually in the cult. We were all the wives came to Mom's house that year for Christmas, and we were all celebrating it.
All 3 wives were there?
All 3 wives were there. Whoa. I don't know if they stayed over, but I think they came the next morning. But before that, our half-brother who left ended up, like, figuring out a way to get Eskel gifts for all the kids. He, like, passed it through the window to Eskel, and Eskel's like, oh, yeah, for sure, you want to give the kids gifts? I'll give them to them for you. So Eskel, like, places the gifts super nice on the stairs, and it just looks so cute. And all the kids wake up, they see all these gifts on the stairs, they're, like, super excited to open them. They grab them all, like, can we open these gifts? And Dad looks at them, he's like, yeah, he doesn't know who they're from. They start opening these gifts, and it has a picture of him and his wife. Instantly, Dad sees the picture and starts grabbing all the gifts. He takes them into my mom's room, starts ripping them open, and taking the cards out and, like, throwing the toys. Like, they can have the toys, but they can't know who they're from, and they can't see the
interracial
picture.
Marriage.
Yeah. So I just came in, like, wondering what was happening. I actually didn't even know. And I laid on the bed, and then I saw him, like, ripping open the presents all aggressively. And I was like, what are you doing? I was so confused. And Dad's just like, we're just taking these out. He didn't make it a big deal yet, but then I was like, figured out what he was doing. I'm like, okay, so he's taking these pictures out because he doesn't want the kids to see it. And I was shocked because we had a picture on the fridge of our neighbor who was interracial marriage, right?
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, they weren't in the order, but it was a black and a white couple, and they were on our fridge. It was like a Merry Christmas card, right? I don't know why I did quotes. It was a Merry Christmas card, and they gave us, like, a Christmas gift, and Mom put their picture on the fridge, and I saw that, and I was like, you're literally treating your son worse than some random person down the street. And I said that to him. I was like, you're treating him worse than some random person. And he was like, do you think it's okay that he's married a black woman? And I was just
black.
like...
But still, even if she was black, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it was super weird, though, because, like, even though I was in the church where everybody's there is kind of racist, right? I still didn't understand why he was so upset. Because I even saw the picture on the fridge, and I was like, why are we treating this random person? Like, it's no problem that we have them on the fridge, and it shouldn't be, right? But why is he treating his son worse?
Yeah.
Than somebody he doesn't even know. Anyway, so that didn't click in my brain, and I literally had a breakdown, ran to my room, shut myself in my closet, and, like, cried for an hour.
Yeah. It's such a, like, life-altering moment to realize, like, oh, this is how my dad treats my own sibling, his own child. And I think it puts those puzzle pieces together, like, okay, so that is very possible for me, that your love, I think you can see yourself in him because he's your sibling.
It wasn't only that, it was literally the fact that I was just asking a question too, like, you're gonna be treating him worse. I guess it wasn't a question, but I was like,
comparing it.
I was so confused, you know. I'm a kid. I guess I was 18. I was an adult. But I just kind of wanted answers, like, what are you doing? And him to, like, get so aggressively upset and yell at me for that. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is not okay. Like, it shocked me because I did not ever see Dad before as a type of person who would just lose control over something so small. Mm-hmm. But I guess maybe it wasn't small to him.
I feel like I saw more of that in him because I asked a lot of those questions.
That's true,
and
yeah.
it would trigger him. But also, I didn't see a ton because we saw him once every 3 days. We didn't see him a lot. We didn't have a lot of conversations with him. He didn't come home and want to hang out with us, you know?
Yeah. But also, it just seemed weird to me because couldn't he just be like, let the kids see that? Like, what? Then just, if you really thought it was wrong, explain that. He had a really hard time with communicating things. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just
How would you communicate that, though? Be like, so, you guys sit down. This is the level of darkness that you're allowed to marry, and this is not okay. And here's why.
Well, literally just, like, agree to disagree, you know? Like,
But he's right. He's always right. He will not agree to disagree with you. He's right.
Yeah, that's the problem, is I always say this to Mom. I'm like, why can't we just live together, but, like, agree to disagree? Or, like, not in the same house, but, like, why can't we just be family and just agree to disagree? You know, like, we won't stop you from living your life, but we still want to be a part of your life. Like, I still want to see the family, you know, and be a part of the family. But it can't happen because they're always right, you know, we're wrong.
Did you go through the same thing as me? Like, when I left, they literally told me, I can't remember the exact verbiage, but it was like, you threw us in the trash. You threw us away because I left. Did you ever feel like that? Like, you disowned your family because you chose to leave? They tried to gaslight me into believing that.
They literally say that we abandoned them. Like, we left them. And I remember Mom saying something similar. I don't know. Just move.
That's okay. We'll fix it. So we're going to end it here. Rachel's, basically, we only covered like 2 of the questions that we wanted to talk about, which is basically like what led you to wanting to leave and Dad trying to get you back. There's so much more about Dad trying to get you back. There's a whole story on that.
Oh, yeah.
But I just didn't want you to feel super drained. I don't want you to feel obligated to share everything in one sitting, because I could also tell that you were getting anxiety reading Dad's text.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. It's a lot and it's heavy. And so we're going to come back and we're going to have so much more to share with you guys. Leave your questions too in the comment boxes down below and show my little sister some love. And then maybe she'll come back.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, I will answer the ones I want to.
Only the one she wants to. And let us know which one looks better. Just kidding. That's actually something I'm insecure about, is people being like, sorry, Rachel. Rachel's the one that wore it better.
I'm insecure about that too.
So don't comment that or I'm deleting it. Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.